Presets and profiles are two of the most useful features within Lightroom, especially if you want to make quick edits to a batch of photos at once or style up your photos with the minimum of effort. We'll have a look at presets in a moment, but first let's take a look at the profile browser, which you'll find in the Lightroom Develop module's basic panel. If we click this little grid icon at the top here, we open up the profile browser, and this gives us a range of treatments for our image divided into these different sets here. So we can scroll through them, and as we hover over these different profiles, they give us a handy preview over our image. So we can see we have a range of different color effects here. We also have black and white profiles, vintage profiles here can be quite nice as well. We can just hover over one, and if we find one that we like, we can click on it, and then we have this useful amount slider that allows us to control the strength of the tonal effect. So you can see we can make it either stronger or weaker using this amount slider, or we can double click to reset it to its default value. So profiles can be a great starting point for making further edits to your image, because you can just choose a profile, close the profile browser, and then go on to tweak any other settings that you might like using these other controls here. So profiles can be a great way to kickstart your image editing. Now, presets work in a similar way. If we go to the presets panel on the left over here, you can see again these give us a range of different treatments. If we hover over these different effects here, you can see how we can tone our image in different ways. And you'll find a range of built-in presets within Lightroom, and you can also download many more for free online. And again, once we find one that we like, we can of course go on and tweak things to change it and enhance our image in any other way that we like. So let's say we want to add a tone curve effect. Let's add a touch of yellow into the highlights here with our tone curve, and a touch of blue into the shadows by flattening out our blue curve like this. So we've created a sort of a different color effect here. Now we can save this new effect as a new preset to quickly apply to other images. So I can click on the preset plus icon here to create a preset, and I can choose exactly which settings I want to include within the preset, and I can of course give the preset a name. Let's call it blue yellow. We can choose a group to house our preset in, and then hit create. And then if I just reset my image to its default and go into my user presets here, we'll find that new preset amongst my user presets down here, and there it is, blue yellow. So you can see how we can quickly create these presets and then apply them to other images or entire sets of images with a single click. Now, in a similar way, we can make our own custom profiles, and this has a couple of benefits, but it needs to be done in Photoshop's Camera Raw rather than in Lightroom. So let's switch to Camera Raw now. If we go into Adobe Bridge here, I can right click my image here and open it in Camera Raw. And again, let's make a quick color effect here. Let's go into one of our profiles here. We'll choose perhaps this Artistic 4 profile here, and then let's make a couple of other color adjustments. Again, we go into our curve here. Let's perhaps add a touch of cyan this time to our image, and maybe add a touch of blue in as well, like this. Let's go into our basic panel and tweak the temperature and the tint, maybe reduce the saturation a touch. So you can see now I've created a slightly different effect. And let's say I want to save this as a new profile. Well, I can do that by going to the preset panel, which you can find by clicking on the preset icon in the toolbar. Now, we can create presets here in much the same way as we create them in Lightroom, but we can also create profiles. If I hold Alt and click the new preset icon here, this brings up the create profile box. So here I can give my new profile a name. Let's call it Cool Portrait. And again, I can choose which settings are included within my profile. I can also build in a color lookup table if I like. So if you like to export color lookup tables in Photoshop, then you can include those in here by loading in the cube file. And then once done, I can hit OK. And again, let's just reset all of my edits here. If we go back to our basic panel here, if we go to our profile browser, I'll find my newly created profile here, cool portrait here within my user profiles. And the great thing about doing it this way is we also get that handy amount slider that lets us control the strength of the effect. So this is something you don't get with presets. So we can use the amount slider to make the effect stronger or weaker. So that's one advantage we have over presets. Another advantage is that any of these other settings and sliders are going to be reset to their default values. So we don't need to sort of mess with any existing settings when we add a profile in this way. Whereas if we were using a preset, then we might find that some of these sliders already have their settings input. So by creating a custom profile, we get a fresh set of sliders to work with. And the great thing is these custom profiles will be synced with Lightroom the next time we open. So you can either create custom presets or custom profiles for all your favorite effects, then apply them to any image you like with a couple of clicks.